Hi everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Queenie, and for today's practice, we are going to flow through a sweat and refresh. What it really is just first half of the practice is more of vinyasa style. We'll be moving with our breath, flowing with our inhales and our exhales, and then second half we'll be holding some of our poses a little longer, getting deeper into our stretches. For practice in the second half, you will be needing 1 or 2 blankets or towels. You can also use a cushion or a pillow instead. So to get started, find a comfortable seated position. You can sit on your shins, you can sit cross-legged, whatever works the best for you. You want shoulders relaxed, palms resting on your knees and your thighs, spine nice and tall. Close your eyes. So with your eyes closed, start to bring your awareness to your breath. Start by just breathing in and out through the nose. And little by little, begin to deepen your breath. So as you inhale, breathe more into your belly, your ribs, your chest. And as you breathe out, continue to relax your shoulders. Start to notice if you're holding any other tension in the body. Or maybe a particular event or thought or something that has happened today or something you're anticipating for in the coming weeks. Whatever is weighing heavy on the mind that's distracting you from being here in the present. See if you can just gently place it aside and breathe it out, let it go. The breath is a very important focal point for our practice. And as I said, in the first half of our practice, we will be flowing with the breath, so get to know the rhythm here. And in the second half, when we're holding the poses a little longer, I want you to still be focusing on the breath, using your breath to help ease the body into opening, into stretching, into creating space. So with that in mind, we will start our practice with the sound of Om. You're welcome to join me. Connect your palms in front of your heart in prayer. Take a deep breath in. Om. And just bow your head. Open your eyes with a few blinks. Release your palms. You're going to place your hands forward. Come into a tabletop position. So in tabletop, you want to set up to have your palms shoulder width apart, knees hip width, toes are tucked. Grounding into the tips of your fingers, pushing into your knuckles. Want to start with a few rounds of cat and cow. When you inhale, let your belly come down, lift your chest forward. And as you exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin, your tailbone, pushing your spine up to the ceiling. And then again, breathe in. Chest forward, belly down. Your back muscles are strong. Breathe out, round your back. Just one more like this. Inhale, chest forward, belly down, neck long. And exhale, round your back. When you inhale again, come back to a neutral spine. Untuck your toes. Allow your hips to shift back. Your knees can be as close together or as wide as the mat. Whatever feels the best for the knees, for your hips. You can walk your hands forward, let your forehead start to come down towards the mat. This is your child's pose. You're also welcome to stack your palms, place your forehead on that. You can also rest your hands by your feet, whatever feels good for you. And this pose you're gonna always come back to throughout practice if we're moving a little too quick or you need a moment just to slow your breath. So as you stay in your child's pose, I want you to take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, open your mouth, sigh it out. Then when you inhale next, I want you to come back to tabletop. Now, normally we have wrists under the shoulders, hips over your knees and tabletop. For this time, I want you to walk your hands one step forward, come a little further forward so that you're feeling the hips here. Hands are strong. I want you to take a deep breath in. When you exhale, elbows bend by your ribs. Don't bend them outwards, and lower about halfway, then push yourself back up. So this can be a modified chaturanga. Let me shift back a little. So again, exhale, just lower halfway. Breathe in, push yourself back up. Try not to go too low. We're going to do one more time. Exhale. And then inhale, push back up. So you should feel the arms doing some of the work here. Untuck your toes, let your hips melt back. Find a child's pose again. Breathe. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Open your mouth and sigh it out again. This time, come back to tabletop as you breathe in. And then when you exhale, you're going to lower all the way down onto your mat. So toes are untucked. Your hand stays next to your chest. I want you to pull your shoulders up first, keeping your face just hovering above the mat. So when the shoulders pull up, you're going to engage the back muscles. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. So we spend the whole day sitting in front of our computers and in front of our devices. The shoulders kind of round forward a lot more. So I want you to strengthen the rhomboids, the muscles between the shoulder blades. So pull the shoulders back, press lightly into the hands. Inhale, lift your chest just a tiny bit. So you don't want to push too much into the hands initially. And as you exhale, I want you to just lower down. So testing the waters here, again, you're going to breathe in, pull your shoulders back, lifting your chest, maybe lifting a little bit higher if it feels okay. Exhale, you're going to slowly release. You don't want to feel any crunching in the low back, no pain there. Again, shoulders lift first. Inhale, chest forward, press your legs down, and then exhale, releasing. One more time, feel free to lift a little higher if it feels okay. Draw your shoulders back. Notice if your neck starts to disappear. You want to pull your shoulders down, lift your heart forward, keep your neck really long. Take another breath in, and as you exhale, slowly lower all the way. Come to your tabletop, breathe in, and tuck your toes. Lift your knees up. Come into your first down dog here. Let your head relax, so don't try to look forward in your down dog. Your gaze should naturally go towards your legs, towards your heels, ground into the fingers. Butt lifts up, but knees can be bent. Try to press your heels down towards the mat. It may not come downwards, and that's okay. You should feel a little bit of a stretch in your calves, in your Achilles tendon. And feeling down dog here, arms are strong. Next time you inhale, I want you to come forward to plank pose. So shift your weight forward, arms are strong. Try to let your hips sink. Keep your belly pulling up, and then breathe out. Come back to downward facing dog. 2 more times, just like that. You're going to inhale, come forward. Sometimes we're going to come into plank with the wiggle the toes back or walk the hands forward. Keep it at this distance, your plank distance. Exhale, down, back to down dog. So down dog might feel a little longer. One more time, you're going to breathe in, come forward. Exhale, lift your hips up. Good. Breathe into plank. Let's lower the knees. Keep the weight forward. Come down halfway. This is your low push-up, your chaturanga. And then just push back with straight arms, strong arms. Exhale, lift the knees, lift the hips, downward facing dog. From our downward dog, I want you to start to look forward and then take little steps. Walk your feet towards the top of the mat. It's okay to bend your knees as you walk your feet towards the top of your mat. And then when you are at the top of the mat, inhale, slide your hands to the shins, look up halfway, arch your back. Exhale, pull the belly in, fold forward, relax your head and your spine. Press into your feet, you're going to lift all the way up. Inhale, stretch really tall. Exhale, release your arms by your side. And again, we'll move through that. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, fold forward, hinge from the hips. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, place your hands down. We're going to walk the feet back, come to your plank pose. Make sure it's nice and long. Use your knees if you need. Lower halfway, pause here for a moment, and then lower the rest of your way down onto the mat. Untuck your toes, lead with your shoulders, pull your shoulders back, lift your heart forward, press lightly into the hands. Your back muscles are strong. Exhale, releasing all the way down. Tabletop when you breathe in. Tuck your toes, downward dog when you breathe out. Good. Ground into the hands. When you inhale next, you're going to look forward. Exhale, start to bend your knees. Take little steps, walk the feet forward, or you can take one big step each foot to the top of the mat. Once you're at the top, inhale, halfway lift. Your back is strong, just like your cobra pose. Feel free to keep a bend in your knees, and exhale, fold forward. Press into your feet. You're gonna lift all the way up. Breathe in, stretch really tall. And then exhale, release your arms by your side. So we're gonna keep adding poses here. Breathe in, arms will lift up. Breathe out, fold forward, hinge from the hips. Feel free to bend your knees. Good. When you inhale next, look up halfway. Exhale, place your hands down on the mat. You're gonna keep your right foot there. Step your left foot to the very back of the mat. Bend your right knee, lower your left knee down. If your knee is sensitive, you can grab one of your towels or blankets. You can place the knee onto that. All right, so from here, left knee is down. You can untuck the left toes. I want you to inhale, lift the arms up. Let your hips gently melt forward. When you breathe out next, bend your elbows into cactus. Good. From cactus, elbows pull back, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Lift your chest up, breathe in. And then breathe out, release your hands down onto the mat. Left toes tuck, lift the left knee, send your right foot to the back of your mat. Plank pose, I want you to inhale. Use your knees if you need. Exhale, chaturanga. Then you can lower all the way into cobra. You can move into up dog. And then as we exhale, we'll make our way back to downward facing dog. So you can come through tabletop and then down dog, or you can go straight to down dog. There's no rush in our movements. Remember, you want to always move with your breath. So from here, next time you inhale, you will look forward. Exhale, you can bend the knees. Either step right foot and then left foot forward, or you can lightly hop your feet to the top of the mat. Once you're at the top, inhale, halfway lift, back strong. Exhale, fold forward. We'll lift all the way up, breathe and stretch. And release the arms by your sides. Good. So again, we're gonna lift the arms up, breathe in, deep breath. Exhale, fold, hinge from the hips, add a bend to the knees if you need. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, left foot stays, right foot's gonna go to the very back of the mat. Make sure it's a nice long stance. Lower the right knee, cushion it if you need. Untuck the right toes. Inhale, lift the arms up. Allow the hips to melt. Exhale, bend your elbows, cactus those arms. Elbows pull back, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Lift your chest up, breathe in. So this stretches the front body, the front of your hips and your thighs. As you exhale next, place your hands down. Lift the back knee by tucking the toes. Left foot steps back, come to plank pose. Hold here, breathe in, strong core and arms. Exhale, lower halfway. Use your knees if you need. Breathe into a cobra or an up dog. An up dog, we want to try to keep the thighs off the mat. And when we exhale, we'll slowly make our way back up to downward facing dog, either through a tabletop or straight from your back bend to your down dog. I want you to take a deep breath in here. Open your mouth, sigh it out. Good. Look forward when you breathe in. Exhale, bend the knees. Either step left foot and then the right, or lightly hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We're gonna lift all the way up. Breathe and stretch really tall. And from here, we're gonna fold right back down as we exhale. So adding on to that, you're gonna inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down. Right foot stays again. You're gonna step the left foot to the very back of the mat. Bend the right knee, lower the left. So we've been here before. You're gonna inhale, reach the arms up. Let the hips melt. Exhale, bend your elbows. Inhale, elbows back, lift the heart. And then as you breathe out, tuck the back toes if it's not tucked. When you inhale next, arms reach up and lift your left knee at the same time. Breathe in. Beautiful, lean forward, exhale, place your hands down onto the mat. Left palm's gonna stay, right arm's gonna lift up, come into your twist. Keep that front knee bent, keep the back leg strong. Push your left heel back, reach your right arm up, turning the heart open. Good. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, release your right hand down, step the right foot all the way back, plank pose. Breathe in, use your knees if you need. Exhale, lower halfway with control. Inhale, cobra. Belly can stay on the mat or up dog. You're lifting them pretty much the whole body. Exhale, send the hips up, roll over the toes. Downward facing dog. And let the head relax. No strain in the neck. You're gonna look forward when you breathe in. Exhale, bend your knees. You can step right foot and then the left, or you can hop lightly to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, back strong. Exhale, fold. Lift all the way up, breathe and stretch. Fold right back down, exhale. Remember, follow your breath. Keep the breath strong. Inhale, halfway lift, deep breath. Exhale, place your hands down. Left foot stays, right leg's gonna go all the way back. Lower the right knee. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Let the hips melt. Exhale, bend your elbows. Inhale, elbows pull back, lift your heart. Good. And tucking the right toes as you exhale. When you breathe in, lift the right knee and the arms reach up at the same time. Strong high lunge here. Still stretching the right hip and right thigh. And then nice and slow, reach your hands down towards the mat. Don't drop your palms. Your right hand's going to stay. Keep your left knee bent. Lift your left arm up towards the ceiling. Come into a twist, pushing your right heel back. So both legs are super strong here as you turn your chest. Go ahead and breathe in. Exhale, left hand comes down. Left foot will step back, plank pose. Strong arms, strong core. When you breathe out, lower halfway or all the way. Inhale, find a back bend that works for you. And then exhale, we'll meet in downward facing dog. If you need to skip that vinyasa, so the push up to a back bend and then to a down dog, you can always skip it and meet us in downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, sigh it out. Breathe in, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees. Step left foot and then the right, or lightly hop your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Lift all the way up, breathe in, stretch. We'll fold right back down, exhale. Follow the breath. Breathe in, halfway lift. That exhale, hands down, right foot's gonna stay. So we're gonna repeat all of those poses and adding a little bit more. Right knee bends, left knee comes down first. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, cactus your arms. Inhale, elbows pull back, lift your chest, stretching open the whole front body. And then as we breathe out, tuck the back toes. Inhale, reach the arms up, lift your left knee. Exhale, lean forward, place your hands down lightly. Left hand stays, right arm's gonna lift up. Follow your breath. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, bring your right hand down. Listen carefully. You're gonna walk the hands forward. Slide your left foot forward a little bit. Keep walking the hands forward until you can lift the left leg. So you're squeezing the left glute. Keep a bend in your right knee. Lift your chest until maybe you don't need the hands anymore, but keeping the right leg bent because I want this leg really strong here. Back leg super strong, squeeze your butt, point your left toes, reach the left foot to the back wall. Hands can always stay on the mat as well. I need you to breathe. Maybe you're trying to lift the hands, super strong here. Do not hold your breath. Take another inhale. You can use the hands for help, bringing hands down to the mat. Bend both your knees. Left knee come outside your right ankle. You can maybe do it without hands, and I want you to sit down. So move your left leg out of the way. You can actually straighten the left leg. You have your right foot crossed over the left thigh. Sitting on your mat, bring your right hand behind you. You can lift your left arm up, breathe in. Twist to the right side, twist to the leg that is bent. You can hug the right leg in, turn to the space behind you. You can bring your left elbow outside the right thigh and look towards the space behind you. Shoulders are down so your neck is nice and long. Puff your chest up. Turn towards the back wall. Breathe in your twist. It's all of this, and when we're moving the spine, keeping it flexible, keeping it young. Good. Next time you inhale, you're just going to come back through center. You can counter twist just so the spine feels a little bit more even. Now, how we came into this pose, we want to try to reverse it. So if your left leg is straight, bend the left knee. Your right foot is on the mat. Use the help of your hands if you need. You lift your butt, walk the hands forward. Press into your right foot. See if you can slowly lift the left leg. Bring your left leg to the back of your mat. Hands are on the mat, right foot goes back. Now you can skip this, go right to down dog or even a child's pose. If you're feeling okay, follow me here. When you exhale, chaturanga. Breathe in, come into a back bend, cobra or up dog, pull your shoulders back. And then exhale, we will all meet in downward facing dog, rolling over the toes. Hands are strong on the mat. Catch your breath. If it's becoming short and shallow, relax your neck. Always welcome to bring the knees down if you need. Take a deep breath in. Sigh it out. We're going to send the feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees. Right foot and then left, or you can hop lightly to the top of your mat. Once you're there, inhale, halfway lift, deep breath in. Exhale, fold. Press into the feet, inhale, lift all the way up. And exhale, fold all the way back down. Remember, this first half is just going to be a little bit more work. You're going to inhale, halfway lift. Try to stick with it, move with your breath. Left foot stays, right leg's going to go all the way back. Lower the right knee. We've done this before. You're going to inhale, sweep your arms up. Allow your hips to melt. Exhale, bend your elbows. Breathe in, elbows back, shoulder blades squeeze together. Lift your heart up. Good, and exhale, right toes tuck. When you inhale, arms reach up, lift the right knee, nice and slow, super strong legs. Good, breathe out, slowly lean forward, place your hands down, right hand will stay, left arm lifts up, inhale. Keep your left knee bent, keep your back leg strong, and then when you exhale, left hand comes back down onto the mat. We'll walk the hands forward, gliding the right leg with us, and then pick up the right leg slowly. Keep your left knee bent. So there's a tendency to want to straighten the left leg and do a little less work here. Keep your left knee bent, squeeze your right butt, and try to lift your chest, and maybe hands can start to float. Maybe you bring them to prayer, but keep your left knee bent, right leg really strong. Good, head reaching forward, try not to slump and round down too much. Use your back muscles to lift your chest. Take one more inhale, do not hold your breath here. When you exhale, hands can come down. You can try it without hands. You're gonna bend both your knees, bring your right knee outside your left ankle. Hands can be an assist here. You're gonna sit down. You can straighten your right leg. Sometimes you get mixed up when we sit down. Your right leg can be straight. You're gonna bend your left knee, bring your left foot outside your right thigh. We're twisting towards the bent knee. Left hand comes behind you. Lift your right arm up, take a deep breath in, tall, long spine. Exhale, you can hug the left leg. You can bring the elbow outside the leg, outside the thigh. Draw your left shoulder back and try to look behind you so that the twist happens from your neck all the way down your spine. Breathe. You might feel a little bit of a stretch in the outer hip on the left side while you hug the leg in. Keep your breath nice and slow. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, counter twists. You guys are doing great. So coming back through center, if your right leg is straight, I want you to bend the right knee. Your left foot is at the top of your mat. Use the help of the hands if you need. Try to lift your butt up, lean forward. Good, push into your left foot, try to lift the right leg. Bring the right foot to the back of the mat. Hands on the mat, bring your left foot to the back. Down dog, child's pose, or you follow me here with your breath, chaturanga on your exhale, low push-up. Breathe in, cobra or up dog, so it's a back bend here that opens your chest. Exhale, send the hips up, roll over the toes. Downward facing dog. I need you to breathe. So just a little bit more here before we start to slow it down. So just taking another round here. You're gonna look forward when you breathe in. Exhale, bend the knees. You can step your left foot and then the right. You can hop lightly to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, back strong. Exhale, fold. Lift all the way up. Breathe in, deep breath. Stretch towards the ceiling, towards the sky. Exhale, fold again, hinge from the hips. Remember, you can always bend the knee. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down. Your right foot stays at the top of the mat. Left foot goes to the back. Bend your left knee onto the mat. Inhale, sweep your arms up, melt your hips. Exhale, cactus your arms. So we've done this a few times now. Elbows pull back, shoulder blades together. Inhale. Exhale, tuck your left toes. Arms reach left knee lifts. Breathe in. Breathe out, lean forward, nice and slow. Left hand comes down, right arm lifts up, twist to the right side, open your chest. Good, breathe out, bring your right hand down. We're gonna walk the hands forward, glide your left leg, lift the left leg. Perhaps also lifting the hands, chest pulls forward, back strong, left leg strong, right knee bent. Let's sit down here, bend both knees, left knee out, trying to aim the left knee to place it outside your right ankle. Use the hands if you need. I want you to sit down. Good, you can straighten the left leg again. We twist to the right side. Right knee is bent, right hand behind you, left elbow outside the right thigh. Look towards the space behind you. Not holding as long, but I want you to puff your chest up, pull your right shoulder back. Good, when you inhale next, you're just gonna come back through center. You will straighten both your legs. Shake it up. Good, from here, bend both your knees. Bring your hands to the back of your thighs, shoulders are down. I want you to try to lift your chest up. Good, lean back a little. As you lean back, you might notice your feet are gonna get lighter. Maybe you're staying on tippy toes or you're trying to lift your feet up. That doesn't have to be super hot. Keeping the knees bent, that's more than enough. Lift your chest, squeeze your legs together. Good, arms are gonna reach forward. It might not be super pretty or controlled the first couple of times, but I want you to take an inhale. And as you exhale, straighten the leg forward, both legs. Start to lean back a little bit, round your spine. Try to bring the small of your low back onto the mat first. Good. Squeeze your legs, bring your ribs down, bring your shoulder blades down, release your legs, release your head gently, reach your arms overhead. And stretch out the body. Take a deep breath in, sigh it out. Good job. So you want to bend your right knee. Let's hug the right leg in. Shoulders are relaxed, right thigh towards the chest. Give it a squeeze. So this pose here, we're stretching the glutes a little bit. Maybe you feel the back of your thigh. You might feel the front of your thigh. You can feel part of your shin, your knee. So just bring the leg close. No pinching sensation in the right hip. If you do feel that, try to bring the knee maybe further out to the right side or closer towards the midline of the body. You can always just kind of draw little circles with the right knee as well. Now, keeping your left leg on the mat, you can also bend your left knee, but keep your left foot on the mat. So we can start with the left knee bent, if that will be a little more accessible. You're gonna bring your hands to the back of your right thigh, flex your right heel and toes. You're gonna slowly straighten the right leg up towards the ceiling. Your leg may not straighten all the way, and that is totally fine. Flex the toes towards your body so that your heel pushes up towards the ceiling. You might just stay here. You can also experiment, see if you can straighten your left leg back on the mat. Maybe your hands go to the back of your knee. Maybe they move up towards your ankle or your heel. Doesn't matter where the hands actually are. I want you to just feel the back of your right leg. And that's kind of the beauty of practicing at home as well. There's sometimes when we're in a studio, we might feel embarrassed, like we're not holding the leg higher up, or we're just looking around and comparing our pose, our bodies to everybody else. When you're practicing at home, just focus on the sensation here. Focus on your breath. Can you breathe deeply here on the inhales? Can you make your exhales more controlled as you breathe out? Try to take the ego out of these poses. Take the ideal, the physical ideal out of these poses. Because you really want, your leg to your face to the leg. Don't worry too much about that. That may happen later, but first let your leg stretch. Good. Start to release the right leg. Shake it out. Hug both your legs in and start to rock a little. Rock from your bum to your shoulders. Doesn't have to be super intense. Just rocking yourself back up. Cross-sitting like you're cross-legged. Keep your right foot at the top of the mat. Left knee is bent. Just like before, I want you to try to stand back on the right foot. So use the help of the hands if you need to lift your butt. You can try to lean forward, lift your butt, push into your right foot. Hands can come down to the mat if you need. Find warrior 3 for just a moment, standing on that right leg. Left foot goes back. Good. Hands come down. Right foot goes all the way back. Plank pose. I need you to hold here on the inhale. Find down dog or child's pose on the exhale, or chaturanga if you have that in you. If your breath is slow and steady, breathe into your back bend, and then exhale, send the hips up, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Amazing. And even if you needed to take a break, that's totally fine. Hands are strong. Next time you inhale, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees. You can step right foot and then the left, or you can again hop lightly to the top of the mat. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, fold. Lift all the way up, inhale, stretch. Fold right back down, breathe out. Last side here before we slow everything down. Inhale, halfway lift. You got this. Exhale, hands on the mat. Left foot stays, right foot goes to the back of the mat. Lower your right knee. When you inhale, sweep your arms, lift your chest. Melt your hips forward. Exhale, bend your arms into cactus pose. Elbows pull back, shoulder blades together. Try to lift your chest up. Breathe in. And breathe out, tuck your right toes. Inhale, arms lift up, right knee lifts up. Exhale, lean forward. Slowly place your right hand down. Inhale, lift your left arm up, twisting. And then exhale, left hand comes down. Walk the hands forward. Glide your right leg with you. Keep your left knee bent. Float the right leg. Engage your glute. When we sit all day, the glute gets really weak. Good, and try to lift your chest. So use your back muscles. Notice if you're rounding here, can you pull your chest forward? Maybe hands will float for a moment. Watching your balance is always easier when you look at one point that doesn't move close to the ground. Find that seated position. Bend both your knees. Aim to bring your right knee towards the outside of your left ankle. Use the help of the hands if you need. Sitting down, straighten your right leg. Left knee is bent, left foot is outside the right thigh. Twist to the left side. Left hand behind you, right elbow can come outside the left leg, or you can hug the left leg. Turn your left shoulder back, puff your chest up. We're here for just one more breath. Slow your breath down. And then as you inhale, we're gonna come back through center. We'll straighten the left leg, shake out the legs. Lowering down a little differently here. Legs are straight, flex the, or point the toes, squeeze your legs together. Arms are gonna reach forward, round your back. Draw the belly in, super strong core, squeeze your legs, push your thighs down, and very slowly start to lean back. Let your heels slide with you, but try not to lift your legs. Try not to drop your spine, so lowering one vertebrae at a time until the head gently comes down, never dropping the body. Reach your arms overhead once your head is on the mat. Let's stretch out the body, point your toes, breathe in, sigh it out. Good. We'll bend the left knee, hug the left leg in. Good. Maybe you're moving the leg around a little, drawing little circles, or just holding it in a more static manner, just squeezing the thigh towards the chest. And notice sensation here. For some of us, we might be very naturally open in this position, so we hug the leg in, we don't feel anything. And that's cool too. You're just focusing on the breath. Notice where your mind wanders to. For some of us, we might not be able to pull the leg too close. You feel intense sensation in the hip or in the leg. Enjoy that sensation as well. Breathe into where it feels tight. And each time you exhale, feel like you're letting that tightness go. Just another breath here. And setting up for the hamstring stretch, you can start by bending the right knee, place your right foot down. Bring your hands to the back of your left thigh, push your left heel up towards the ceiling. So for some of us, there might be a bend in the knee, you can't straighten the leg all the way, totally cool. Still hold the back of your thigh, push the heel up. If you're able to straighten the leg, go ahead, keep straightening the leg, keep pressing the heel up, flex the toes. You can start to maybe experiment with straightening the right leg down on the mat. As the right leg straightens, it requires the hamstring and the hip flexor on the right side here to stretch a little bit more in order to have both legs straight. So choose what works for you. Breathe. And again, hands might slowly creep up a little taller. But again, go to where you start to already feel the stretch and not to a point where you have to hold your breath, you can't breathe, or super, super, super uncomfortable. Another test is if you were to let your hands go, does your leg spring out of the position? You want to be able to actively still hold this pose. So not relying on pulling with the arms too much. We're here for 2 more breaths. You're going to slowly release. Left leg comes down, right leg releases as well. You can shake out both legs. Bend your knees, hug the legs in. You can gently rock side to side first, and then see if you can build up a little bit of momentum so that you at least just sit up from here. So sitting, left foot in front, you have your right knee bent. Use the help of the hands to lift your butt or try to lean forward, lift the hips. This might take some practice. Left foot pushes down, right leg goes back, hands can stay on the mat. You can try to do this without the hands at all. Good, and let the right foot slowly go to the back of the mat, palms down, left foot goes to the back of the mat. I'm gonna do vinyasa one more time, so flow with me or meet me in down dog. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale to your back bend. Try not to rush these poses. And then when we breathe out again, we'll lift the hips up, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. From our down dog, we're going to walk the hands to the back of the mat. Once you're at the back of the mat, heel toe the feet, as wide as your mat. Turn your toes outwards as you slowly allow your hips to come lower. You might have your hips about the height of your knees before the heels start to lift up. You want to keep the heels down. Good, lift your chest. Some of us might be able to bring the hips a little lower. That's fine too. Hands can lift, elbows to the inside of the thighs, palms come to prayer, shoulders are down, neck as well. This is your Milazzo, Garland pose, your yogic squat. And those of you who are super comfy here, you can like read a book in this position. If your hips are super low, I invite you to lift it a little so that you build strength as well as maintaining your flexibility. Just try not to just sink in your pose. Take another deep breath in, long breath out. Place your hands down, lift your sit bones up, shake out the legs. First option here, you just want your feet parallel, feet as wide as the mat. You can grab opposite elbows, you can bend the knees. Let your spine completely relax. No strain there. Use this opportunity to slow your breath down. You can allow your spine to just gently sway. If you have a little bit more energy left in you, you can come back to your squat. You can come to your crow, palms down, shoulder width, knees to the back of the arms. You're leaning forward, grip into the fingertips. The biggest fear everyone has here is falling on their face, but if you don't lean forward, you're not gonna pick the feet up. So you don't need to hop to lift the feet. Lean forward, grip into the fingers, pick up one foot and then the other. Basically, when I'm in this pose, I'm just balancing, I'm just making sure my legs feel lighter by leaning forward. So look forward, don't look back. And don't worry if the pose doesn't come to you right away. It's a lot of, you need a lot of wrist strength as well, forearm strength, gripping into the pads of your fingers. Good. If you are in your crow, you're gonna gently place your feet back onto the mat. We're gonna come back to a forward fold together. Everyone staying here. Take a deep breath through the nose and sigh it out. Good, I'm gonna bring the hands back down, walk the hands forward, bring the knees down, untuck the toes. So we will take one of our blankets. If it's a towel or a cushion, that works as well. I'm gonna put it closer towards the camera. So I'm gonna place the blanket, fold it up. Doesn't have to be this high, it could be a little bit lower as well, as long as it provides some cushioning on the right or left side of the mat. It doesn't really matter. What you will do is you're gonna place your one knee onto it, the other knee stays on the mat. If the other knee is also sensitive, you can fold your mat in so it doubles up, or you can grab your other cushion blanket or towel. And what you're going to do is let the knee that's on the floor and the blanket or pillow start to slide out. So you might, as you let the legs slide out, feel quite uncomfortable. You don't have to go to your max and push it really, really far out. So what this pose does is we're getting a stretch in the inner thighs. Now stay on the hands for a moment. Have your toes point out. So my right toes point out to the right side, my left toes point out to the left side. Don't have them do anything else that's kind of funky. And your knees are about 90 degrees. So you don't have to bring your feet too close together or too wide out. Look at your knees, they're about 90 degrees. And then you can lower onto elbows. So while we stay here, before we completely find stillness, I invite you to shift your hips forward a little, which might feel a lot better, and then maybe shifting your butt back a little. So you can decide how much intensity you want in this pose. The more you come forward, the less you will feel. You might even be able to bring kind of like your hip bones down a little bit, but you're not really getting too much of a stretch. As you push your hips back, without sliding your feet together, keep your knees 90 degrees. You're gonna feel kind of the inner thigh, a little bit more intense. If you have a block, you can always stack a block or a few books and let your head rest on that. You can also stack your fists, one on top of the other, let your head rest on that. Some of us might be able to bring our foreheads right down. This first pose here is not what I would call super fun. But bear with me here. If you're feeling like you're kind of just tearing the muscles of the inner thighs, you're too deep. Pull the leg in a little. You should still be able to breathe. And just like everything else, when we are stretching the body, we build that tolerance for that discomfort and the pain, and we start to also learn what is a good stretching pain versus pain that is overstretching or pain that's in a joint. So we don't want any sharp pain, any pain that makes you flinch out of the pose. If that's what you're experiencing, you're too deep. Pull the leg in a little. We're not here for that much longer, but I need you to breathe slowly. Notice what your mind does when you are put in an uncomfortable situation. Last 3 breaths. You can do this. Stay with me here. Breathe nice deep breaths in, slow breaths out. Last breath here. Very slow. Want to come back to your hands first. And then start to slide the knee back in. So using a little bit of inner thigh strength, your core. Good. You can come back onto the mat. Bring your thighs right next to each other. And maybe sit back on the heels. You can stay in tabletop. You can shake out the legs. Whatever feels good for you to release that pose. Good. And then we're going to take that cushioning, whether it's actual cushion or something you can fold up. We're going to cushion the left knee. So left knee on the blanket or your pillow, towel, right foot's going to step forward. Bring your right foot to the right edge of your mat. And then maybe you can walk the left knee back a little. But when you bend the right knee, you want to make sure the right knee is on top of your right ankle. So if your foot is a little too far back, when you bend the right knee, the knee will pass the ankle. You're going to miss some of that stretch. So you either walk the foot forward or you walk the left knee back. You also don't want the knee too far back that it doesn't stack over the heel. But from here, you might just stay on your palms. Let your hips gently push forward towards the front edge of your mat. Shoulders down. Maybe you're on fingertips. Maybe if the hands don't quite come down onto the mat, you can even take it upright. You can bring your palms onto the thigh. This will stretch your left hip flexor, lower belly, left quad a little differently than having your hands down. Last option, you can start to walk the hands forward, maybe bringing elbows down, maybe stack up a few books or a few of your blankets. You can bring your elbows and forearms on that, or stay on your palms. So breathe here. This pose is really good for hips on both sides, stretches both hips a little differently. A really good pose to counter all the time we spend sitting in a chair, kind of stationary in that 90-degree shape from the thigh to the spine. There's like no 90 degrees here except in your right knee. I need you to breathe. And again, I know this pose is uncomfortable. Notice if you clench your jaw or try to hold your breath. Stay with me here. It's really short hold compared to how long we spend sitting throughout the day, throughout the week. So stay with me, just a few more breaths here. The more uncomfortable you are, the deeper you should breathe in and out. Remember, there's no sharp pain. Beautiful. Last 2 breaths here. After your last breath, I want you to slowly release. If you're on elbows, you want to lift back onto your hands. Good, and just let the hips shift back. And then move it maybe kind of in circles or side to side. Your right foot, you can wiggle it off the mat and slide it back slowly. Shake out the leg. Whatever feels good, you can stand up and shake it out. You might have to shake out the wrists. Maybe you're feeling the weight in your hands. You can take your pillow, blanket, towel, whatever it is, near the top of the mat. You're going to bring your chest over your blanket. or the cushioning. If it's too high, make it a little lower. You're going to turn your head to the right side. Let your left ear, left side of your face rest on the mat. Your arms can come by your side. You're going to have your arms next to your face like cactus. You can even stack your palms and place your head on that if that feels better. You might find you really don't like the cushioning under your chest. You can forego that as well. So whatever works for you. Getting a very gentle neck stretch here. Legs are extended, feet relaxed, shoulders heavy. You might notice one shoulder maybe closer to the mat or touching the mat and the other is lifted. If there's any pain in the neck, I would suggest keeping something under the chest or try to stack your palms, see if that helps, or move your arms in different directions. Might help you there as well. No pain, no sharp pain. Breathing in and out through the nose. So let your entire body just sink into the ground here. The next time that you breathe in, take a deeper inhale. Sigh it up. Bring your palms next to your chest. Push lightly so that you can lift the head, releasing the neck. Press up into your tabletop. Move the head, the neck gently. And we're going to switch sides with the hips first, with the hip opener. Find cushioning for your right knee. It's just nicer so that you don't have to think about the hardness underneath the right knee while we're already uncomfortable with the hip stretch. Left foot goes to the left edge of your mat. Walk your right knee back a little more, left foot forward. You want to have your left knee 90 degrees, roughly. Hands can stay on the mat, or again, you can come up if hands don't quite come down. You can walk the hands forward and try to lower your elbows and your forearms. Pick what works for you. And you don't always have to go to your max where you feel the most intense. So notice I can always come down to my elbows. I know because I'm holding this a little longer, I'm just gonna stay on my palms. Breathe. If you're starting to experience a little bit of wrist discomfort, just because we spend so much time on our hands, you can walk the hands forward a little so there's less direct weight right on your wrist. And then start to reconnect with your breath. Feel the body here, maybe the discomfort you're experiencing. No sharp pain. Let go of any unnecessary tension. So are you clenching your jaw, scrunching up the face? Are you squeezing your shoulders to the ears? Are you gripping into your toes? Can you soften your hips a little more? Is your breath restricted? Can you keep your breath flowing nice and slow? Last 3 breaths. Try not to rush these breaths. Last breath here. Just like the other side, coming out of it is super important. Try not to pop out of the pose. You might walk your hands in. Shift your hips back slowly first. You're gonna feel a really nice release in your hips. You might kind of move the hips around a little. Left foot can go out to the left side as you sweep it all the way back. You can shake out the legs. You can stand up and shake it out. Whatever feels good here. There are no rules in how you let this pose go. Good. Then we're gonna get our neck stretched to the other side. So if it felt good to have the cushion underneath your chest, place it there again. Lie down, turn your head to the left. When we elevate the chest, actually, the neck stretch becomes a little less intense. Arms can rest again by your side, next to your face, or underneath your face. Allow your hips to soften and let your body melt into the mat. When you breathe, notice how your back expands up towards the sky. When you exhale, feel your body surrender a little more into the mat, into the ground. And the next time that you breathe in, take a deeper inhale. Sigh it out. Your hand palms come back onto the mat next to your chest. Lift the head, push lightly into your hands and knees. Turn the head, moving the neck. Good. And then you can sit down. So feet can sweep off to one side. Sit down as you straighten the legs forward. Shake it out. So having your cushioning, blankets, towels, whatever it is, close by when you lie down. You can stretch out the body first. Point the toes, reach the arms, breathe in. Let it go with a sigh. So we'll bend the knees while we lie on the back and place our feet onto the mat with our knees pointing up to the ceiling. Grab your blankets. If you have blocks, you can use those for sure. What you will do is lift your hips up, slide your props, your cushioning underneath your sacrum, so just below your low back, kind of right above your butt, and your butt can actually rest on the blanket as well. I like the cushioning lower, so instead of placing it, I'm gonna sit up, instead of placing it right on your low back or up here, kind of closer to the ribs, I'd rather you kind of place your prop right around here. So if you're wearing kind of yoga pants, yoga leggings, kind of where the thick waistband is, and then a little bit below that as well. So it's best to get in it when you're lying back rather than what I'm doing right now, lying back onto it. So you're gonna lift the hips, slide your props underneath, let your butt rest on that. It doesn't have to be super high for you to get the benefits here. So let the shoulders relax, make sure your neck is neutral, your head isn't crooked. Hips are also neutral. You don't have one hip kind of turned one direction or more forward than the other. And just let your hips, let your body weight kind of sink down into your props, into the mat for a moment. So even having this slight elevation of the hips, we're already letting some of the lymphatic fluids drain back towards our torso. The blood can kind of flow easier from our legs back to our heart. So you have a few options here. First option, just hang out. Palms can reach outwards. Arms can go overhead with elbows bent. You can rest your palms on the belly. First option. Second option, you can keep your knees bent, lift one foot, lift the other, and then you can slowly straighten your legs. So this will have more of a therapeutic effect on the body. It will calm the body down even more with the legs lifted. Blood and lymphatic fluid flows even easier back to your torso. A pose like this signals our nervous system to really relax and calm down. It might not be super relaxing for you initially if the hamstrings are a little tight or it's a lot of effort to keep the legs up, but it's still worth it if this is where you want to take it. last option is your feet stays on the mat, but you can slowly start to straighten your legs. So in this last option here, we're getting the upper quads, so your thighs, your hip flexors, your psoas, your lower belly, this whole region that gets so compressed when we're sitting, we're letting it just gently open. So we don't want to stack the props too high, so I'm turning this into a very aggressive hip opener. The more gentle it is, the more the body will be willing to open. You can allow everything here to decompress. Every option provides a slight different benefit. Just picking one that feels the best for you today. For some of us, we might straighten the leg with our the props underneath and start to feel a crunching sensation in the low back. Just means that your lumbar spine has a very nice curve already, a very natural curve. So if you're feeling like you're pinching into your lower vertebrae, take some of the other variations. Knees bent, feet up. You don't have to straighten your legs. It's just a few more breaths here. Whatever you've chosen, do your best to try to let your hips relax. Soften your face, your shoulders. Allowing the last bits of your day to just fade and melt away. Wherever you are, I want you to take a deep breath in through the nose and sigh it out. If your legs are straight, you want you to slowly to bend your knees. So if your legs are in the air, start to slowly place your feet down on the mat. If your heels are extended forward, start to walk your feet back in. Just coming back with feet on the mat, knees pointing up. Rounding into your heels. Lift your hips just a little bit, enough to remove your props. Keep your butt lifted so you don't lower it right away. So strong legs, press into the heels. You can push into your palms, your arms to help lift the hips or keep them lifted. Take an inhale. And when you exhale, press your ribs down, press your mid back down, and then gently press your low back, and then your sacrum, and then your bum. Let both knees just slowly come to the right side. Take an inhale. Sigh it out. Bring your knees back through center. And then let your knees gently fall to the left side. Again, breathe in, deep breath. Let it go with a sigh. Bring your legs back through center. Moving into our final pose, or Shavasana, corpse pose. You can just make sure your spine is neutral so it's not crooked. You can have your knees bent in Shavasana. Feet can be a little wider. Let your thighs kind of collapse in. Palms rest anywhere that's comfortable. You're welcome to walk the feet together, knees apart. If the knees are quite lifted, perhaps don't stay in this position unless you're really relaxed here, legs don't feel any tension. Otherwise, you can just straighten the legs as well. You can have your legs as wide as you like, your arms as wide as you like starfish. Close your eyes. Let your body completely surrender into the ground. No efforts here, no tension. Let your breath return to its natural rhythm. This is where all the different benefits of every pose that we've done, this is where the body digests that and absorbs those benefits. Allowing the mind and the body to unwind. Do your best to be in this stillness with no agenda, no purpose. Start to bring your awareness back by just moving your fingers and your toes. Let your head slowly turn from side to side. And if it feels nice, you can stretch your arms overhead, slide your legs together, straighten out the legs, take a deep breath in, and sigh it out. Bend your knees. If it's nice to rock up, you can, or you can roll to your right or left side, pushing lightly into your palms at your own pace. Make your way back up to a comfortable seated position. So always like to close the practice the way we began it. Sitting with your spine tall, shoulders relaxed, palms resting on your knees or your thighs, eyes shut, blocking out any visual distractions so that you can feel your body as you reconnect to your breath, noticing the effects of your efforts and the effects of the practice. We will close our practice with the sound of Om. Connect your palms together in front of your chest in Anjali Mudra prayer. Take a deep breath in. Om. Just bow your head. Thank yourself for making time for your own practice. And I thank you for joining me today. Hope you're able to find some peace, love, and gratitude on the mat. That you take that with you off the mat, share it with the people you interact with. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today, and hope you enjoyed the practice. If you have any comments, feedback, please let us know in the comments below. And thank you so much for continuing to support Jonathan and I, as well as Abby. We are so grateful for just, you watching our videos, practicing with us, and for your donations, for those of you who can donate. Thank you again. Hope to practice with you soon.